Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Off the Cuff, our Monday edition. So excited watching the chat. Some people know about the things I'm going to talk about today. Some do not, but if you're new here, please subscribe. Help me out trying to build the channel, and so more people can be turned on to the truth. And it's a beautiful Monday noon in Florida. I don't know where all of you are, but I pray it's a great day for you and an awesome week. This topic, the topics, the three of them, I had to do together because they're all connected, and you'll understand when I get into this. I had a major aha moment when I started this, and I will add, and it will more come toward the end when I explain to you what I realized, which a lot of you are going to be like, whoa, it's going to hit you like that as well. So before we get started, let me make a couple announcements. Again, welcome. This is Off the Cuff, Delora Off the Cuff. And at the end, I go completely off the cuff and we ask questions. I pretty much answer anything, even when there's trolls and they say things to me. I have fun playing with their head. So that's me, but that's me. Anyway, like I said, please subscribe. I also have a Rumble channel called Delora OBrien, The Gathering, over at rumble.com. We do Fab 4 there and our weekly Sunday night service, Solomon's Porch. Okay, top of the day. This isn't new to some of you. It is a repeat, but I've had so many people ask me to please put it on again. It's called Sweetest Song, balloon sleeve. It's got a little bit of a balloon sleeve. It's very classic and very beautiful. It's got a gorgeous pleat here, but here's the issue. And this is why I think people wanted me to wear it again. This is not the color. The problem is when you use a green screen like I do, because of the green color, it comes out like black or bluish black. What it is just got to go to joyandcountry.com, take a look at it. It is the most gorgeous, beautiful shade of like pine green / emerald green. Just beautiful. It is comfy as can be. I think I'm wearing a pajama top, and, but it is gorgeous. And like I say, when it's a top like this, it hides all of the lasagna. You go out to dinner and have a big dinner and you won't even see it. So yeah, bishop sleeves. That's what it's called. Mountaineer Mama, thank you. It's a bishop sleeve. Beautiful, beautiful top. So again, go look at the color. It's in Delora's closet. It's also, the link is in the description below. The other thing I'm doing today, and the reason I'm doing this is because we are at the end of these. These are handmade for us, okay? They're laser engraved. And this is maple. This is wood. They're so light and they're so gorgeous. I wear these all the time. We're coming to the end of this. They're not making these. She's not making them anymore. And there's like 3 different colors. There's a darker color. There's a cherry color, but they're absolutely beautiful. All of these items are in the description below, and the links to these and the links to the top. Remember, when you go in and you see the price of these earrings or the price of this top or the price of all the stuff we have on there, when you go to checkout and it says shipping, it will say 0. Shipping is always free, whether you are spending $1 or $1,000. It doesn't matter. And if you haven't bought anything and you would like a little bit of a code for 10% off, put in welcome 10. We call it Jenazon because Jenna, my daughter, and our daughter is the one that put this up. So go to joyandcountry.com. I'm going over after because I'm before they're out. I think I want to get the darker pair of these, but that's me. Okay, so that's done. So let me go through this again. This is one of those shows where some of it you're going to know and some of it you're not. But I'm big in connecting dots, and I'm big in taking something that maybe you don't know about or do know about, either way, and connecting with things that you might not know about or might not have a revelation about. Okay, so that's where I'm going today. So as I saw in the chat, people are asking, what is Kona Blue? I've never heard of Kona Blue. Kona Blue was a plan that in 2011, the government, along with the Department of Homeland Security and DOD, Department of Defense, put together a program called Kona Blue. I have no idea why it's called Kona Blue, except Ford Mustang has a color called Kona Blue, a color. Not sure what's related there, but it's about taking, if they find an alien aircraft, about taking that and reverse engineering it so that they can use technology. Okay. Now, no one knew about this program pretty much. It was pretty much undercover. The weird thing is, and this is the thing that I was questioning, it's been the subject of rumors for many years, but the Department of Defense denied it. But last week, they disclosed it. They actually disclosed it. So here is Kona Blue. This is from the Homeland Security site. So here is, see, it says declassified by Richard McComb, Department of Homeland Security, Chief Security Officer. There's the declassification number. I wanted you to have all of this in case you wanted to look it up. Now you see at the bottom, it says top secret / Kona Blue. This is what it was, handled via special access channels only. And now it has been classified as unclassified and disclosed. Okay. So that's what is going on there. It may seem like the program is science fiction. Again, I'm going to connect all these dots for you near the end. The videos I'm going to show you of Tucker Carlson as well. This stuff is blowing my mind when I'm telling you. I could have done more research on this, but I didn't want to wait on it because it was disclosed last week. But what you're going to hear Tucker Carlson say is actually, maybe it's just me, mind-blowing to me, to hear somebody at that level saying the things he's saying. Just something is up, guys, and it's all good. So the program sounds like science fiction. Yeah, la, 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 la. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. The Department of Homeland Security, Tara O'Toole, which is the Undersecretary of Science and Technology there, approved it. So it was taken seriously, very high level. This wasn't one of those, oh, we're just going to do this and see what happens. It wasn't that. It was very top secret. No one ever admitted it existed. Only very few people had access to it and had clearance. So why was it scrapped? Okay, this is a question that goes on in my brain. It said it tossed the Kona Blue program because, get this, they never found any alien technology to reverse engineer. Now, number one, I don't believe that, but I'm going to explain to you. I don't believe in aliens, but I'm going to connect it to you at the end. I do believe they've reverse engineered things. I do believe there are things that are flying and we're seeing, and I'm going to explain to you why. And I never shared this ever. When I was 12 years old, we had a door on this. It was called a breezeway in our house. I don't know if you guys even know what that is, but it's a little area, like a little porch that you could go in before you went down the stairs to our basement. And what happened is there was a door and a window, and it looked out. And you have to understand, when you live in Massachusetts, where we lived in a farm town. It was pretty flat. There was no mountains. You could see, different things. So I was looking out, and my brother, very older than me, was looking out as well. And we saw a ball of light in the sky. Well, it looked like it was this big. It was huge, I'm sure. And it was hovering right over, it was probably just over where we could see. And it was hovering, and it went like this, and it went like this, and then it went, and it was gone. Now, That was decades ago, guys. I'm not 20 years old. That was decades ago. So that got me always interested because I saw it with my eyes. Even as a kid, my favorite word was why. So even as a kid, I saw this. I knew something was going on. Now I'm putting 2 and 2 and 4 and 4 and 8 and 8 and 16 and 16 together. And I'm realizing what is happening. So it said the program was really never approved in the first place. Okay, so I get that. They didn't really approve it, but they did get $50 million. So first of all, I like to know where that goes because some of that is my money. That's number one. This was their statement. Okay, I quote, the government does acknowledge that they've discovered unknown materials and unknown technology, but no one knows exactly where those things are. Do you know what that reminds me of? When the astronaut was interviewed 2 years ago and asked, hey, why haven't we gone back to the moon? We went in the 60s. How come we're not going now? I mean, if we did it then. And he said, oh, we don't have that technology anymore. Like it got kind of destroyed. That's what that statement says to me. We don't know where they are. Okay. So what does the disclosure of Kona Blue mean for the transparency about what's actually flying around? Okay. The Pentagon is the one, Department of Defense, disclosed this project because they're feeling they should be more transparent with the people. And the lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are seeking answers about this from whistleblowers. Now, there's Representative Tim Burchett. He's a Republican from Tennessee. Believes this is a cover-up, okay? And I'm going to show you. You can look him up. I'm giving you that name so you can look him up. This is from the Department of Homeland Security, okay? It's from the Honorable Catherine Hanson. This is February 5th. But this, got to understand, this is a letter to do it, but it didn't come out but just a short time ago, a week or two ago. It says, Dear Mr. Hicks, Dr. Hicks, thank you for your letter on September 28, 2023. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, agrees to provide the Department of Defense, DOD, with documents and relevant information associated with Kona Blue. Kona Blue was a Department of Homeland Security prospective special access program terminated on February 10th, 2012. This is all this. Blah, 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 blah. Means nothing. They just want to put this out there to have something. This is what it said. All DHS documents associated with this are declassified, approved for public release. The strikeout method was utilized to retain visibility of poor classification and redactions. All pertinent DHS records have been searched. I appreciate your continued cooperation. Should you wish to discuss this matter. Okay. This is all a double talk, double think, all this stuff that they just do. So it makes it look like they're doing something. Okay. Now, really what was interesting was last year, David Grusch, Grusch, you can look him up. He was an Air Force major. He is an Air Force major general, but was formerly into the highly classified intel that the government, he was part of that. Okay. He said the government is covering up their efforts to learn about reverse engineer technology from spacecrafts. Okay, so what is really going on? Now, we could say all kinds of things. Well, how can we believe him? Well, he was testifying before a congressional committee under oath and penalty of perjury. So, and the guy's a general, major general. So you kind of can believe him. So now what's going on? Now, what I find interesting is, me in movies, the film Deep Impact is about comets, a comet that was an asteroid that was / comet that was going to hit the Earth. And they landed on it and they tried to nuclear. They tried to blow it up. They didn't. And it's all kinds of stuff went on. Now, the government has a program called Deep Impact that it is for to find comets, asteroids that could possibly affect the Earth, so there would not be a catastrophic event. This stuff, now I have not looked down the film road for Kona Blue. Okay, it's maybe something somebody wants to do is why I'm saying that. You know very well this is how they operate. Okay, so let me flip it for a second. Let's go into this. If you read the first chapter of Prophet Ezekiel, okay, it is very interesting what is said there. Now, I've been taught that it means something. Okay, there is it reflects on God's kingdom, and they were cherubim that came down, and the wheel within a wheel was Jesus. And again, what we're taught in some churches, and most actually, they just take from what they were taught and what they were taught and what they were taught. So we need to be a lot of critical thinking, even when it comes to the Word of God. Now, I'm not saying the Word of God is off, but when man's interpretation starts putting stuff on it, sometimes it's not correct. So if you go into Hebrew in Ezekiel and look up words in Hebrew, I can't go through the whole thing. This isn't a Bible study, but you will notice certain things that are very interesting to what I'm talking about today. So right now, let me play you a clip. Tucker Carlson, it was a week ago, was on Joe Rogan's show. I'm going to show you 4 clips throughout this program that's going to tie in everything I'm talking about. But he mentions Prophet Ezekiel in this clip. So watch this.
Right. I mean, the prophet Ezekiel writes about it in the first chapter, wheels in the sky.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. Boy, when you
well,
read
it
that,
is crazy. If you read it, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and
a wheel
so,
within a
and
wheel.
not just, the Hebrew scriptures, like it's all over every.
The Vedic texts.
Of course. So these are spiritual phenomenon. There's no evidence they're from another planet. I mean, I think that's the that's the lie, that they're from Mars. Look, space, the atmosphere is really well monitored, right? Both for defense reasons, but also because, like, it'd be nice to know when asteroids are coming. And there's no evidence, has never been any evidence that there are lots of these objects, these vehicles coming into our atmosphere from somewhere else, some other planet. There's no evidence of that at all.
Okay. Now, I get it. I find it very intriguing that he said, and I didn't cut it there specifically, these are spiritual beings, okay? And he said, they are coming from outer space, like they're not coming from Mars. Boom, right off it, got right off the topic. Now, that sent me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Now, I'll tell you the rabbit hole it sent me down. I've been studying out, and I'm going to do a big one on this about lands. I touched on it in a couple, if you want to. The first ones I did of off the cuff a couple months ago. But I'm going to do a big one on the lands beyond Antarctica, the possibility and actually some proof, like Admiral Byrd. I find it interesting that when I went to look up what Tucker Carlson believes about the shape of the Earth, when someone asked him, he said, all I can tell you is I question everything. And that's where I live. He lives exactly where I live. But with the Mars situation, Mars is one of the most known lands beyond Antarctica that has been mentioned. It's been written about. Explorers have talked about it. And he mentions Mars, but then he gets right off it. Like, I don't even want to go down that road. That's not what this is about. So now we have an admission that the government has been seeking to connect with other beings. Okay. And they claim they haven't. But because of portals opening and CERN and all this stuff, I mean, come on. People have seen things flying, cigar-shaped things, and so much is escaping into our world that they really have no choice but to disclose, like hence flying saucers. You know, they're not from aliens from other planets. So why release this information? Why release it? Why they've been looking into what aliens mean to the public right now? Why? Someone or something is forcing their hand. Now, it takes a lot of critical thinking. That takes a lot of looking at things out of the box from a different vantage point. I'm trying to teach you guys now how to think this through. Why would they do that now? You could always go back and say, well, Mr. T, every answer is not Mr. T. There are other forces and things that are happening in this world that are forcing the hand of people. But it could be that so many people are aware, seeing things, not only in the sky, but under the water as well, that maybe the government has no choice but to start admitting and start making things unclassified. I truly would not be surprised if the assassination of JFK is not disclosed fully soon. Wouldn't shock me at all. I'm seeing the handwriting on the wall here. Tucker Carlson is heading up the greatest exposure in every area, greater than the level of WikiLeaks. Now, remember where he was. Let's go back, okay? You can hear him say this all over the place. He was a self-professed agnostic, pro-government. The government was doing us good. We were taken care of by the government. They were looking out for us. And he will say it out of his own mouth. He woke up in 2017 because Mr. T claimed that him and his campaign were being spied on. Tucker didn't buy it. So he went into it to disprove that was true. And then it was revealed that it was true. That started Tucker Carlson on an adventure and a rabbit hole understanding that he said out of his own mouth was so frightening to him at times that he couldn't even tell his wife. He said that much that we know about these spiritual beings is happening not only above the water, but under the water. So I want you to watch this next clip.
So they're from here. If they're spiritual beings, which I believe they are, like it's a binary. They're either, you're on team good or team bad. You can assign any name to it you want, but like, what are these things? Are they good or bad? And I think some of them are bad. And if the U.S. government knows that, or elements, the people within the U.S. government know that, then they're serving a bad force. And
well, when you say spiritual, like what makes you draw that conclusion that they're spiritual?
What's the obvious? I mean, spiritual may be the wrong word. Supernatural. They're beyond nature as we understand it. I mean, obviously they are. I mean, just chart their physical behavior. It doesn't, it goes outside of what we understand about physics. No visible means of propulsion, coming at indescribable speed, hitting the ocean, continuing at speeds that are impossible undersea. I mean, in other words, if I take a, 9mm round or 7.62 by 39 and shoot you at 50 yards underwater in a swimming pool, and it's even more intense in salt water because it's denser, you could catch the bullet if it even makes it to you, right? So if you have a craft, any object underwater that's traveling at 500 knots as measured by sonar, right there you're challenging our understanding of physics. Like, what is that? How can that be? So yeah,
they've tracked that. They've tracked things going 500 knots under the sea.
Yeah, really. Yeah, much faster than any object can actually go undersea. Yo, for sure. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on underwater, and a lot. And there's video of these things coming out of the sky into the water and also emerging from the water.
Right.
Okay. So my question is, what is our government's relationship with these spirits? Gary Nolan, who's a professor at it's Dr. Gary Nolan, is a professor at Stanford University School of Medicine, has assessed the injury on U.S. servicemen that have come in contact with objects that people are denying exists. He is a whistleblower. He is speaking out. You can look him up. Again, it's Gary, Garry, Nolan. And he said that many of these servicemen have died and have gotten very ill due to their exposure of being near the vehicles used in the Kona Blue program they were part of. This is the issue. Families can't get compensated for the deaths of the loved ones, even through the Veterans Administration, because it's all under wraps. It's all high secret. No one knows. They don't know. They signed their life away to work there. And no one knows that they were experimenting with things. So when there are measurable results of something like these people in service, we're way past asking if it's real. We are dealing in a supernatural realm we've never seen before. So why is the government hiding this? One, they may not have any control over them. Every day that we're being acted upon as we know it by spiritual forces. Come on. We know that. If you're a believer, if you're not, I mean, at this point, if you're an atheist, you've got to at least say, whoa, something is happening. There's good in the world, there's evil in the world, and what is acting upon people and upon situations? The spiritual battle is coming forth like it never has before. If we could ever look in the spirit realm, World War II in the throes of battle would look like a joke. This is happening on a very high level. So now God becomes even a greater factor in our life. The angelic presence, the angels, becomes even a bigger factor in our life. So if God is real, which we know he is, and so these spirit beings are manifesting, what does that do to folks who don't believe in creation? So now that has to bring us to the theory of evolution. Told you I'd connect the dots here. The theory of evolution says, remember, it's a theory, just like the theory of gravity, the germ theory. These are theories, okay? Let me read to you what it actually is. The theory of evolution is the idea. I know you know this, but listen. All living things on Earth have descended from a single cell, and that species change over time through natural selection, resulting in new species. The theory of evolution is based on the idea that all species are related and that genetic changes or mutations in organisms' DNA cause their observable traits to change. Some of these characteristics can give an individual an advantage over others, blah, 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 blah. It's the fundamental keystone of modern biological theory. And it was with Charles Darwin. We know this story. We were mostly taught in school. And let me tell you something. That is, it's about as true as gravity is. And that's another. I'm going to do one whole thing on theories. I'm going to do a show just on theories. I had so many shows, I don't know what I'm going to do. So let's stop right there. Okay. Charles Darwin was a British naturalist, and he's the one that proposed the theory of biological evolution by natural selection. For example, Darwinian views of giraffe evolution would propose that giraffes have natural variation in their neck lengths, and that those with longer necks are better able to survive and reproduce because they can eat off the taller trees. I found what Tucker Carlson says in this next clip as spot on and has Joe Rogan's head spinning. Watch this.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Not necessarily that we don't think people are important, but if evolution is real, and if there is this constant, I don't know, but it's visible. Like you can measure it in certain animals.
You can measure adaptation.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence that in fact, I think we've kind of given up on the idea of evolution. The theory of evolution as articulated by Darwin is like kind of not true. Right?
In what sense?
Well, in the most basic sense, the idea that, all life emerged from a single cell organism and over time, and there would be a fossil record of that, and there's not. And
there's not a fossil record of transitionary species, like species that are adapting to its environment.
There's tons of record of adaptation, and you see it in your own life. I mean, I have a lot of dogs. I see adaptation in dogs, through the litter to litter. But no, there's no evidence at all that zero, that people evolve seamlessly from a single cell amoeba. No, there's not. There's no chain in the fossil record of that at all. And that's why you don't actually hear people, you hear them make reference to evolution because the theory of adaptation is clearly, obviously true. But Darwin's theory's totally, that's why it's still a theory almost 200 years later, No, we have not found that at all. And I can't even guess. I mean, I have my own theories on it, but they're not proven.
What are your theories?
God created people, distinctly, and animals. I mean, I think what every person on Earth thought until the mid-19th century, actually.
Right, but
it's not a new idea.
I love that. It's not a new idea. Listen, let me tell you what's happening. I loved it. That's what Darwin's been around for less than 200 years. God made everything. That's not a new idea. Oh man. Listen, I'm loving seeing Tucker Carlson in the throes of this major spiritual awakening. It is so exciting to watch. Now, think of how many people will hear that. So you understand this interview in just about a week has close to 9 million views on it. 9 million views, guys. 9 million people hearing this stuff out of Tucker Carlson, who for many years was, straight and narrow, the truth. Then a little bit started coming out, then a little bit more, and then he had an awakening, and that was it. Tucker is a marketplace prophet, just like Mr. T. A cultural prophet, someone who's bringing what we need right now for who we are at this point in time. And don't be fooled. He knows exactly what he's doing. He can laugh like a little kid, and he can, say things in jest. He knows exactly what he's doing. And if I'm correct, that man is a man under authority. And they're lining it up, line upon line, precept upon precept, where he does interviews. Because since He went to, PUTIN. Since he went there, all eyes of the world are on him. And if they're on him to scrutinize him, or if they're on him to say he is completely erroneous in an error, they're still hearing it, and faith comes by hearing. This is, he is creating reverse peer pressure. So the peer pressure that is happening now is us, okay? It's us. We're now the new peer pressure. The peer pressure that you must acquiesce, you must be politically correct, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say this. Now, to Joe Rogan, he made Joe Rogan look like, you still believe in evolution? Are you kidding me? He made him look like a fool. Like, you don't believe in creation? Where are you living, bro? Marketplace profit, guys. Marketplace profit. Okay. Did you see Joe Rogan's face? In 1 minute of conversation, he made, like, if you believe in evolution, you're an idiot. It reverse peer pressure. We're the peer pressure. It's just amazing. Okay, so what's going on with all of this? Look, whether you believe in God, you believe in the Bible, you believe it's true, you believe it's not, you believe it's been tampered with, if you're an agnostic, I don't really care. I don't really care. Scripture was prophetic back then. If you go through the Bible, it prophesied what is coming, and it prophesied the last day that we are in now. Now, they've been talking about the last days for 2,000 years. The last day could be today. The last days could be in 100 years. We really don't know. And the Bible says you will not know. You'll never figure it out. But what it means is the age is winding down. And that was prophesied by those living during the time of Christ. So I got to read you a few scriptures because they're so prophetic and so mind-blowing. 2 Timothy 3:1. In the last days, there will come times of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid such people. Luke 21:25. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and the earth, distress of nations in perplexity, because of the roaring of the seas and the waves. Did you hear what I said? Remember I told you about underwater? You're going to see things differently now. Fainting with fear and with foreboding of what is coming to the world. For the powers of heaven will be shaken. Don't think third heaven, powers of heaven. That could be the second heaven. That could be where the demons, where it's all there. Okay. Now I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you gotta look at these things in light of today's culture and what is manifesting on the earth today. 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit expressly says that in later times, some will depart from the faith by devoting themselves to deceitful spirits and teachings of demons through the insincerity of liars whose conscience have been seared. So let me conclude here and we'll go to questions. We are experiencing a major, major spiritual war, the likes of which we have never seen before in history. It is spiritual. If you want to use the word supernatural, above natural, of what you're seeing in the natural, supernatural. And I believe it's because so much has been exposed that you can't hold it back anymore. It is a dam about to break. You can't, it's too much. So they're getting ahead of it right now. They're getting ahead of it. A lot of people are waking up. But I think if you still believe this is about Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives. If we're in a republic or a democracy, you have to wake up from that. I keep saying that is not our enemy. I don't care. Look, if they're possessed or they're, some other species, maybe. Yeah. But the average person on the street, no matter how nasty they are not our enemy. That's who we have to join forces with. Okay. Now, if you see that someone is against the word of God or they're fake or they're, how do you join forces with a false prophet? Yeah, it's hard. You can't. But we've got to realize it's no longer about right and left side of the aisle. No longer. This is about good versus evil. I want you to listen to this last clip, okay, of Tucker. I know people, especially those that are very literal minded, and I'm one of them, have a hard time believing that something they can't see or feel or touch with their senses is real. When actually what is true is that world is eternal, and that world is more real than our temporal world. Watch this.
It's real. The supernatural is real. And I don't know why it's so hard for the modern mind, I guess because it's a materialist mind, to accept that. But and that's not a new phenomenon. It's happened throughout history. There are people called prophets. And there are people who were prophets who weren't called prophets, but there are people who have information or parts of information, bits of information, visions of information come to them, and then they relay it. It's not from them. They received it. This is like one of the oldest phenomena in human history. So,
interesting, no? So why is all this being exposed now? There is, God has set times in the Bible. Christ came in the fullness of time. God doesn't live in our time. He lives above our time. He sees the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. There are Kairos moments that happen in our life. The election of Mr. T, I believe, was a Kairos moment. Changed everything. Let me explain to you what a Kairos moment is. It's Kairo for those that you want to go look it up. A Kairos moment is a time when the right conditions are present for an important action to be taken. The word Kairos comes from the ancient Greek and means the right or opportune moment. In the New Testament, Kairos refers to the appointed time in the purposes of God, or the time when God acts. We don't know what triggers a Kairos moment. We can think about it, maybe prayer, but we don't really know what triggers a Kairos moment. We have to trust that because He is our Creator and our Father, that He loves us and will always only do would be for our benefit. That's why you hear us. We always say, God's got this. We're not avoiding reality. I probably have my feet firmly planted in reality more than most. We just trust that all that is hidden will be revealed. And it is. And that's what's happening right now. So being in the middle of a Kairos moment with Tucker Carlson, with so many other things, following him, following his path, he is bringing specific things to the forefront that need to happen before a Kairos moment can take place. It's a very exciting time. It's an amazing journey that we are on. And the fact that Kona Blue has been unclassified. Now, I'm going to say something, and I cannot say, and I'm going to end with this. This is true, but I promised you I'd give you a revelation that has been kind of tormenting me for about a decade. We know the Nephilim exist. We know that. It's in the Bible. They are hybrid, half human, half fallen angel. Okay. And then people say to me, well, how did if they're spirit, how did that happen with the women? Well, you look how the Spirit of God overshadowed Mary and she got pregnant. Same thing. Okay. So you've got Nephilim. They are a dark spirit inhabiting a human body. And the ones that were identified in history, in biblical history, and those that have seen them, whether they're explorers that have seen them, written books, I've read them all, or not. Even Admiral Byrd in his diary speaks of, tall. They're tall and they're, different colors of skin, but they are in a human form, but a spirit, a dark spirit inhabiting them. Okay. No soul. They're not like a human like that. Could it be that the alien spacecraft that we're seeing, okay, and in Ezekiel, it talks about a wheel within a wheel. Is that a wheel? That wheel, is that a spaceship? I don't know. But if you think about it, the Nephilim are not able to walk through a wall like a spirit would. They're not able to be translated like that and be in the spirit. They have a human body. They need vehicles. They need vehicles. Could that be the aliens that we're seeing in spaceships? They're not coming from outer space. There is a firmament and there is a dome. That has just about been proven. If you look in the Bible, you read about the firmament. I mean, there's so much. There's so much. I'm going to do a show Wednesday that connects to all of this. That's going to blow your mind. Okay. I couldn't do it all in one show. That's a whole show all by itself. But considering that people have actually seen these things like I have, considering that they're saying one actually landed and they're doing reverse engineering on it, and now they're revealing that, how close are we to complete exposure and declassification of so much that we will be shocked? Maybe the Nephilim are coming from the lands beyond, like Admiral Byrd said, and these are the aircraft that they're using, because Kerry and the Pope and many people have gone to Antarctica, and they haven't gone there to sunbathe. They didn't go there to play with the penguins. There's something on that past Antarctica and on that side of the world that we don't know about. And I have a feeling this is it. That's it, guys. Any questions? Put 3 question marks and your question. Was the house plant alcohol really eaten by cannibals? Being Asian Pacific Islander, we prefer dark meat. Smooches, Misty. Island Girl, I don't know. I think that was crazy. I don't even know why people covered it. I really don't. I'm sorry. So many people are asking that I'm missing some. The center of evil. Yeah, Rebecca, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. I do believe that. That's my opinion based on facts. but I can't prove that. Again, this is what I do. It's like a court of law. You lay out all the things you know. At the end, there's a conclusion. Let me give you an analogy. This is really important for you guys to get. There are dogs missing in the neighborhood. Okay, there are dogs missing, and we don't know who's doing it. But I lost my dog. Somebody else got their dog. Lost that dog. Everybody's like 15 people lost their dogs. Suddenly, a man a couple miles away says, I've got all kinds of dogs for sale. He lists them. And all the dogs he lists are all the dogs that are missing. Now, you didn't see the dogs. You can't prove those are the same dogs. But the preponderance of the evidence points that guy probably took all the dogs. That's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing. Rachel, do you believe CERN or other man-made portals will release beings described in Revelation with all the heads, horns, and tails? I believe that much of that is already here. CERN was tapping into other, I believe, that maybe already were put in the pit, hitting that level, because there's already darkness around. It's not like they're letting darkness out. If the devil and his minions weren't here, we'd be living in bliss. That's who's affecting people. So we know they're already here. CERN was, or maybe it was just, the parade and everything they had. Maybe it was just something they had to honor and make sacrifices to. I don't know. I don't know. That's completely off topic. I'll do that at some other point, maybe. Kona Blue makes me think of code blue, a term used in hospitals for life or death emergency. Absolutely. Considering I worked in hospitals. Yeah. Kona Blue. Interesting. That's interesting. I came in late. Sorry if you already said this. You mentioned the second and third levels of heaven. Can you explain about the levels? I can. I have. I did it in past off the cuffs. But I can't do that now. It's way too long. I'm sure it'll come up again. Absolutely. I heard someone say that mermaids are the women that slept with the fallen angels. What do you think? Kametra, let me repeat what Tucker Carlson said. I, too, question everything. Yeah. Do we have to put on the whole armor of God, or does God look at that as senseless repetition? I would. I mean, that's like saying someone's going to rob houses in the neighborhood, so I might as well leave my door open. No, you lock your door. Is that senseless repetition? I don't think so. Let's see. Any thoughts on Phil Schneider's observations? Very interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. Very interesting. Can you show an RH negative blood? It ties into disproving evolution. I have a negative blood, meaning I do not have rhesus, so therefore I did not evolve from an ape. Yeah, I think I agree. My husband has the same thing, but I don't think that I can give you, that's true, but I can give you a ton more, Elaine, of why we didn't come from. Just think of it this way. One cell, okay? See this little piece of tissue? There's a cell in that. Did we cut? How did you get me from that? I don't care if it was a gazillion, trillion, quadrillion years. It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I can't even consider it. But yeah, but could be, Elaine. Absolutely. Let's see. No more wars. Yeah. Something regarding, what did you say? Okay. Let me explain, Marisol. You said you saw something regarding aliens. What did you see? Let me repeat it again real quick, and then I'm going to take a couple more questions and then get off. I was about 12 years old, and I was looking up at the stars. And I always loved it. I used to lay on the grass in my backyard and look at the stars and, think about them. I had a big globe in my room. Needless to say, finding stuff out really was very hard for me. But I saw a round ball of light that was just sitting there, hovering in the sky. And it went to the right, and it stopped, and it went to the left a little bit, and then it went and took off. Ever since then, I know that there's something out there. But I also know that there's no aliens from other planets in the outer space. So I had to try to put the two together. My understanding of Nephilim needing ships or airplanes or spaceships or whatever coming into the known lands or our world makes sense to me. It might not make sense to you. And I'm not even saying it's 100% true. Yeah. David Morgan, how can you reverse engineer something you don't have materials for? Ding, 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 David. So you make this is what cracks me up, David. Okay. You get $50 million, you put it into a program that you don't even know if something exists. And you do it for 13 years and spend $50 million on it and then say, oh, we had nothing. It was nothing. What do I think of Tucker as VP for Trump? I don't. Let me tell you what I think about him. I think he should be chief of staff or press secretary or an ambassador to the United States. Something that will give him a platform that would, a vice president is kind of a disposable figure. I mean it. It's sad that it is that, but it's true. He is so disarming when he speaks and so likable, and even his laugh, that he needs to be in a visible position that would awaken people. Mr. T, I know, has to be part of what Tucker's doing right now. Do I know that for sure? No. But do I know that? Yes. Okay. Demonic counterfeit of the Megabba ships for Ezekiel. Could be. Do you think an election will ever happen? It might, Amy. It actually might. It might. I wouldn't have thought that a month ago, but now I think it might. Things change. So of course our impression of things change. What we feel in the spirit changes. No. I think you completely Nephilim descendants, approximately 7.4 billion people. No. You completely mistaken me, and I can't go into it now. But that's not what I was talking about. Nephilim are look it up in the Bible. Or in the Book of Enoch. They're half human, half fallen angel. They're not all over the planet. And if the people that are doing this are demonically possessed, they're not Nephilim. Please go back and listen. It's important you get that. Yes, Catherine Sorgi, I actually do think that. I said that on Fab 4 about a month ago, and now I'm thinking it could actually be the Snowden that Kim Clement spoke of. I absolutely do. All right, this is very, no, Caroline Phyllis, this is not just all speculation. It's not. Please speak to me if you get snarky. Okay. And you get like that. We've talked about this before. Write to me. This is not all speculation. This is truth that I've extrapolated what possibly could be. The rest about Nephilim and the spaceships is absolutely speculation, but not that this is all speculation. It's not. Okay. So if you're going to say things like that, please, people read these comments after. Okay. Please think before you write, people, because whatever you write on here is here forever. Okay, Delora, I love all you bring to us. I would like to know, where do you get a lot of information? Does Yahweh bring to you these things, or you just really search it out? Both. This is what usually happens walking in faith. I pray and I ask God to please give me where he wants me to go next. And when I sense it or I hear it, there's many ways God speaks to me. It could be through an email somebody sent me. It could be my husband saying something to me. And then I'm like, that's where I have to go. So what happens is I search it out. I do a lot of hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to do one show, because I verify, re-verify, verify again, and re-verify again. That's why I don't like when people say this is all speculation. It's not. It's based on rock solid facts. When I tell you I'm speculating, I will tell you I'm speculating. When I'm telling you something that God spoke to me, I will say this is what God spoke to me. But if I don't say that and I give you names and numbers and websites and all this stuff, you can go look it all up on yourself. All I'm doing is giving you breadcrumbs to find it. God told me when I started this, start this, but do not feed them fish. Teach them to fish. That's why I bring you through my process every show. Okay. I hope that answers your question, walking in faith. I would absolutely look up at the book of Enoch. It is fascinating. He's mentioned in the Bible that the council said the books were okay. There are other books that I believe, like the book of Enoch. It's fascinating and lines up with the word of God, but it extrapolates it. And that's why the council at that time did not want it in the Bible. All right. Let me go down to the bottom. There's way too many. Okay, Jeanette, I got it. Thank you for clearing that up. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Thank you, Renee. Thank you all for your support, saying you love the show. Thank you, Delora, for all your hard work. Thank you. And I love your earrings. Yeah, you go, if you like them, you better go get them. There are wood. And thank you for that, Renee. You just saved my life with my daughter. Yes, menacing muskrat. The veil is getting thinner. That's exactly right. Okay. Again, here, subscribe. If you listen to me, please subscribe. It would help me out. All my other things on Rumble and everything, my links are in the Telegram, are in True Social, are in the description. And my top of the day at special requests. Again, this is yes, a bishop sleeve, like they said. Beautiful sleeve, beautiful material, has a pleat in the front, which is just so flattering. I can't even tell you. It looks black. It's not. It is the most gorgeous color. Pine and emerald green. Just go to Delora's Closet on joyandcountry.com. If you want these guys, they're available in a darker color and a burgundy. This is it. She cannot get these anymore. The person's not making them anymore. Here, let me show you how beautiful they look. Since that came off, they're wood, very light, gorgeous, just gorgeous. The earrings are called Under His Feathers. Always remember, there is a big sale always going on. Shipping. You buy these, you don't pay shipping. You buy this, you don't pay shipping. Anything you buy. Doesn't matter if it's $5 or $100, you don't pay shipping. And if it's your first time going over on joyandcountry.com, use the code WELCOME10 and you will get 10% off. Thank you all for Big Mother's Day sale. Thank you, Renee. Big Mother's Day sale going on over there. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for your support and the love and the emails. I try to get back to all of them. I will at some point, but most of them, it may take me a day or two since they've revved up. If you're sending prayer requests, I don't answer all of those. It's just way too many, but we do pray. Love you, love you, love you. I will see you Wednesday at noon. Mega show. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. God bless you all. Love you. Go in the power of God. Have a great day.